How do you determine if a woman is flirting with you or just being friendly? Story 1. Hard to tell. If unsure, it's safest to default to friendly. Honestly though, there's a litmus test. Steer the conversation towards something that's interesting to you, but boring to most other people. If she's still there, and she's looking at you with wide open eyes, then she's into you. Story 2. If she is at work and you are a customer, she's definitely just being friendly. She is like that to every customer that walks in. You're not special. Story 3. Question for the ages. In my 31 years, I still haven't been able to figure it out, but I just assume they're being friendly since I'm from the Midwest where everyone is friendly and don't want to embarrass myself. Story 4. I would refer you to a comment from You Got Hello Down years ago going over this more or less. From personal experience, I went through all of the things he listed and missed all the signs except for the desperation ones as I'm not that attractive. Story 5. If they are in any way, shape, or form being paid or otherwise compelled to be where they are presumed friendliness, never ever inflict romantic interest on someone who does not have the option of walking away from you. Story 6. If you get married and have kids, and then right as the youngest one is starting kindergarten she suddenly makes up a bunch of bullshit problems and divorces you, that's how you know she was just being friendly the whole time. Story 7. If you had the answer to that question you'd have a bestseller book on your hands. 1. Learn to ask in an appropriate for the situation and respectful way. Be direct and don't beat around the bush. 2. Learn to accept the answer, whatever it might be. 3. The more you practice asking, the more your confidence will grow and as a result your success rate. 4. You'll be surprised how many people will come around at a later time and ask you back. If you follow the above basic steps, do not 1. Ask for an explanation when rejected. Outside of very limited circumstances, you're not owed any additional justification for their choice. 2. Do not make a big deal out of a rejection. 3. Do not obsess with people of the opposite gender. They're just people like you. Putting them on a pedestal or projecting your personal idea of them on them will lead to unhealthy and unhappy relationships. If popular culture is any indication, majority of the population on Earth is unable to do this. None of the above are easy things to do, they are however pretty simple as a concept. Edit. Probably most of all, in all things relationship-wise, practice kindness, to yourself and to others. Life is not easy for anyone, and things don't always make sense, but kindness goes a long way. Story 8. My default assumption is that they are just being friendly in almost every situation. If you're at work, just being friendly. You're at a shop, just being friendly. If you were in a setting, explicitly for discovering romantic partners, probably still just being friendly, but now it's appropriate to ask. Chatting a girl up at the bar, probably just friendly but maybe not so. Ask. You asked her out on a date and she said yes, probably just friendly. Odds are better though, should probably ask. Story 9. Do the lean test. Everyone has a small circle around their space. When dancing or in a crowd it may shrink some, but we all have the circle around us that makes up private space. If you are unsure whether it's flirting or friendliness, in the middle of her doing it, lean in towards her, being sure to cross into her space. Don't touch, just casually lean into her space. If she pulls back to maintain her space, she's likely just being friendly. If she holds her ground, or especially if she leans towards you, she's flirting. 65 of the time this works every time. Story 10. You really can's highly dependent from person to person. F34 here. I always laugh at myself because it's so obvious when I'm talking to a guy I'm attracted to. I can't stop smiling and I keep touching or fixing my hair without even realizing it, every single time. This usually happens when I wasn't planning on flirting, but suddenly get approached by someone I am instantly attracted to. When I plan on flirting, lol, I'm pretty confident. I'm intentional about giving off the right signals and like using the triangle method and dropping a few well-placed compliments about his physique to make sure he gets the hint. I love it when guys get quiet and nervously look into my eyes because they get the message and it makes them shy. So cute. Story 11. There's a lot of things women won't tell you because the whole game is about holding their cards close. The more they tell, the more they can be manipulated and used dishonestly. Sorry, but it's complicated. Anyways, your 3 checkpoints, you have to pass all 3. 1. Interesting conversation. If you're asking them stuff and they're actually giving you answers that are more than one word. Great if they're asking stuff about you, and prolonging the conversation, you've cleared checkpoint 1, which is they're not immediately trying to end the social interaction. This means they feel relatively safe talking with you. Move on to checkpoint 2. 2. Validating anything you have to say about yourself. When you open up about yourself, how do they respond? Are they curious? Do they give genuine responses to your thoughts and beliefs? Do even your weakest jokes hit their mark? If you feel like they're trying to not just keep the conversation going, but actually get you, you've passed checkpoint 2. They want you to know your thoughts matter to them. Move on to checkpoint 3. 3. How available are they making themselves? Are they constantly bringing up they have nothing to do later? Do they keep bringing up random places that sound like they could work as a date? Do they want you to follow up on telling them something about yourself? These are signs you're being thought of, and they're giving you opportunities to spend time with them. Now with checkpoint 3, context matters. If they see you as a friend, they want to introduce you to their friend group, so the offerings will be more group focused. If they are romantically interested, the ideas of hanging out will be a lot more private and personal. Shoot your shot at the 3rd checkpoint and get a feel for how they want to spend time with you. If you show patience and not overeagerness to get to the good part, you'll be a lot more respect. Also, my final tip: everyone is different. This is not a catch-all for women in every culture or social context or environment. This isn't a dating sim. Just practice paying attention to people IRL. Story 12. Honestly, if you're asking, she's probably just being friendly. Flirting from women is usually extra obvious: lingering eye contact, playful teasing, finding excuses to touch your arm, stuff like that. But being nice, that's just us trying to exist without being accused of leading someone on LOL. Story 13. Send her a certified letter asking her if she is interested in the two of you entering a consensual flirting relationship. Also suggest ground rules and topics of flirting which are off limits. Remember, consent is everything, and too many people have lost the ability to let things go instead of feeling triggered. Story 14. Hey, I'm bad at reading signals, and no pressure or anything, but you seem really cool and I'm trying to figure out if you've been flirting with me or just being friendly. Story 15. You don't need to ask. Ask her if you want to hang out next time. If she say yes, ask her for a date. If you can date her, ask her for a date at V-Day, Christmas Eve, some sort of important holiday. If it is a yes, you are in. If you can only date her on weekdays or unimportant dates, it is a no. Story 16. As a guy who has had success in this department, what has worked for me is as follows. Girls are generally more excited around a guy with confidence, so I tell myself they are into me as long as I am seeing positive body language signs such as smiles, eye contact, laughter, and choosing to engage with me. However, you then have to balance this by being really respectful. If you do take a chance at a kiss or similar, if they don't go for it, just leave it be completely. At that point you can't just power through and keep trying, it's up to them at that point. Story 17. Twirling of the hair, or continuously fussing with something appearance related while she's talking to you. Jewelry fidgeting not included. If she touches your arm or shoulder at any chance she can get, source him a female, and these are all things I intentionally did in front of my husband to send him flirty signals. Story 18. Every girl that talks to me is just being friendly. In my mind, I'm so awkward at cues that she could be naked in my bed and I would assume she's sleepy. Story 19. If you're attractive, tall, obviously wealthy, or knee-slap and funny, they're flirting. If you're a dirty, exuding, unshaven, dirty hair and clothes type of guy, they're being friendly. Story 20. Stalking. Yes, girls really do this. If she keeps popping up where you are for no reason, when her destination is the other side of the building, she likes you, she might completely ignore you, only to sneak a glance and keep walking. Story 21. You won't ever be able to. It's different for every woman. So what do? You shoot your shot with every woman you fancy and gracefully accept whatever response you get. Do not let the internet convince you that it's wrong to approach women or ask them out. It's not. Story 22. I recently learned on the rehearsal that girls will look at your lips if they want you to kiss them. I then had several thousand flashbacks and realized that I have no idea what flirting is. Just a week earlier, a girl I was talking to suddenly pivoted in conversation and was like, "Wow, your eyes are so blue." Then started to ask me if I am single, and if so, how come, then started swaying her hips, then started to look at my lips. So I now assume I will be single forever, because I just thought she was being friendly. I literally have no social skills. I talk to ChatGPT more than people. I too would like to know the signs. Story 23. All I know is I don't flirt, but it's frustrating because I've noticed many men mistake basic human decency and friendliness as flirting. I'm wondering if it's because those men don't extend basic human decency to others unless they want to F them, so they assume everyone is like that. Story 24. Assume everything is just friendly until they rage tackle kiss you. Then you look her in the eye and say, "I am beginning to think you like me." If you survive, you now have a girlfriend. I ended up with a wife. Story 25. My fiancée told me I literally never notice when a woman is flirting with me. According to her, there's been several. She actually used to believe I was pretending not to notice because I liked the attention. I had no idea anyone was wasting perfectly good attention on me. Story 26. Ask or wait for them to tell you. Like, I don't think any other answer here is correct. I myself prefer to just wonder if the gal or guy bi is flirting and wait until they explicitly tell me because I don't want to seem weird, but I'm also the guy who had someone straddling his lap and had to be told explicitly it was due to romantic and interest, like I am exceptionally thick. Story 27. Eye contact and body language are big telltale signs. According to my wife, who pulled me away from a lady who was flirting with me because 1. Her eyes never stopped looking at mine, and 2. Her body was facing squarely towards me and she kept straightening her dress. Story 28. Have a meaningful interaction. If she cuts it short, that's probably your answer. If she enjoys your company and spends some time with you, ask early. Apparently, I was a very attractive teen male. Very few women my age would make overt signs due to fear of rejection. I was told by several that as we became friends that they were extremely interested during our first 3 meaningful interactions. However, after the 3rd meaningful interaction with no move made by me, they assumed I was just wanting a friend. Basically, don't friendzone yourself, or come across as a creep. Story 29. If she's actively trying to be in close proximity, accidentally touching you, playing with her hair or jewelry when she talks to you, making a lot of eye contact, acting shy, smiling at you a lot, making banter, and laughing at your jokes a lot, you make her tingle. If she doesn't like you, she doesn't see you, or she keeps things simple and brief with you. Story 30. From my experience, there are a few signs. She takes any excuse to talk to you or be around you. She likes to touch you even when you are just having a casual conversation. She compliments you a lot. She talks about with you pretty comfortably. Story 31. Great question. So many of us men's have a little trouble with this. Mom, sit down, I have big news. I met the one Mom, she said hi to me and smiled. AMD said it was nice to see me. Mom, full 360 spinning eye roll. Story 32. Talk to her, ask her questions and listen. Gauge if she is enjoying the conversation. See if you guys are able to hold an effortless fun conversation. If you find yourself in a fun conversation, check out her body language. Flirty in a good conversation, if she's into it, would probably be light physical touches, laughter, obvious close proximity, and that feeling when everyone realizes you've both been talking to each other and no one else for a while. If you can see green light flags across the board, brother, you may have yourself a genuinely interested woman. But you still have to ask her for her number or on a date. I feel like making sure there is obvious interest on several levels builds the confidence to go for it. Don't be the guy who pounces off of some brief eye contact. Feel her out, ask questions and listen, and you will glisten. Story 33. You engage. Respond by being open and friendly back. See how she reacts. If a woman is flirting with you and you give her an opening or a sign that it's welcome, she'll have a reaction, which is a perfect world would be more bold flirting. If she pulls back or disengages, then she was just being friendly. Find the comfortable ground and see which direction things go, but be okay with it either way. Flirting is a game. It's push and pull and reading body language and signals. Learn to play, you'll have a lot of fun. Story 34. When I'm flirting, I'm failing to suppress a smile, like lips pursed together, trying not to smile the whole time, but not being able to, so a lot of times, I'll try to cover my smile with my hand or trying to avoid looking at you. If I'm just being friendly, my face is relaxed and doing normal face things. Story 35. When I'm having fun with a woman, I am flirty, because it is fun, no touching though, but I'm one of those clueless guys too. My ex used to at me if a woman was seriously hitting on me, and I'm totally clueless. My now wife, love of my life, teases me when it happens, because I'm clueless. Story 36. You don't. They'd rather play stupid games and then complain years later that you never picked up on a look that's entirely the same as 72 other looks she uses that mean anything from minor annoyance to customer-friendly to slightly repulsed. Women, despite claiming to be such great communicators, don't do it basically at all. Story 37. Didn't read all the comments, but the key for me has always been touch. Does she touch your arm? Does she brush something off your shoulder? A good can just be friendly, but does she grip a little tightly? These are indicators that she's not just being polite. Story 38. Gotta have a if then list. Is she required to talk with you or interact with you for any reason? I.e. hostess, waitress, store clerk, receptionist. Is she currently being paid? If yes, then no, she is not flirting with you. Is she making small talk about something that just happened or reacting to something you said that's related to something she was doing? Probably not flirting. Is she making small talk about your shared hobby? At the hobby place? Probably not flirting, but keep an eye on her. Did she randomly strike a conversation with you for no reason and you'll barely know each other? Decent chance she's flirting. Is she laughing and touching you? Mission is a go. Story 39. I'm going on a date in 2 hours. I saw this post and was hoping to get some clues I should look for. I'm highly disappointed. I'm going to friendzone myself so hard today and she'll think I'm not into her. Story 40. You don't. Years ago I went to a convenience store with my wife to get a couple of things. We were separate in the store, but she could see and hear me at all times. I talked with the cashier for a bit and left the store. As we were outside we had a chat. Did you notice the cashier was flirting with you? Yeah, she was all over you. It was obvious as no, it wasn't that obvious. Story 41. Is she doing her job? Probably not flirting. Is there a high chance she wouldn't reciprocate attraction? Because of age, for example. Probably not flirting. Story 42. It all depends on the situation. Before you approached her, did she smile at you? Does she start any of your interactions, conversations? Did you catch her looking at you multiple times? If not, she's just being nice. Is she a coworker? If so, she's deaf, just being nice. Story 43. If she is working at a job, especially if it is tipped, she is not flirting with you. Outside of that, match the energy. If she increases, flirting. If she dials it back, friendly. Story 44. You really can't be too sure, so it's best to wait and see for other opportunities. In all seriousness, the real answer is that there's no answer. It depends on the person, the culture, the situation. Everyone is different, and you can't approach life with rules to determine these sorts of things. Sometimes you'll just get it wrong and you move on. Story 45. Eyes and arm touches. In my experience, every single time I thought she was flirting, she was being friendly, and every single I thought she was being friendly or annoying, she was flirting. So based on this, do the opposite of what your gut tells you. Story 46. If I'm interested, I ask them out. If she wasn't flirting and shoots me down, and that's the end of it. If she was, we try something. If I am not interested, it's irrelevant if she was or not. Story 47. Eye contact is longer, more smiles. Makes it excuses to talk to you. To me it's so obvious, but my husband tells me it's not to men. Y'all are kinda dense. Story 48. You don't. Every single time I've assumed a girl liked me, I lost a friend or got shot down. I've also been told that women were flirting with me, and I was oblivious. Just tell them how you feel and deal with the consequences. Story 49. This question needs more context. As an example, it depends on the setting. If this is at her job, then chances are she is just being friendly. Either way, be a gentleman, get to know her a little more, then you will get a better understanding of what she wants. Story 50. I dunno. I'd say if she asks you anything about, she definitely is flirting, or what type of women you're into, dead giveaway. If she is overly touchy and huggy, you just feel it honestly. If she ain't into you, you'll be able to tell. Story 51. If she seems to like to be physically close to you or touches you, laughs at your jokes almost too much, deep eye contact, she mentions that she doesn't have a gag reflex, any combination of these things. Story 52. I mean, it depends on the scenario. At the gym they are flirting unless we are already friends. It's common enough for hot gym people in particular to check each other out. Same with dudes. If there is a jack dude I am not friends with, they are sizing me up and I am sizing them up. It's not as potentially unless they are a gay gym bro, which for sure exist in spades. But you make eye contact with the newcomers, you kinda get a sense of them, and then it's a power struggle to see who comes to who first, who wants it more, again for sure flirting. But let's say I am at the grocery store and it's the hot college chick at the register. She might even touch my arm, laugh at bad jokes, whatever. It doesn't matter. She is being friendly, maybe more friendly than with others, but still just friendly. The only time you should ever think differently is if she actively says, hey, wanna hang out, I get off at this time or whatever, then you can say it's flirting. In general, if someone comes up to you out of the blue for no reason, it is aimed at being more than friendly in my experience. Like sure, they might be asking directions, but in 2025 people don't do that unless they just wanted to stop and talk to you. It starts friendly and they kind of feel it out in those first 30 seconds, and then the tones it likely shifts to flirting. Your oaths literally crossed and they want to talk to you is what flirting is meant for really. Story 53. It's all wise in the eyes. A little sparkle hint of mischievousness, on top of what her role in the interaction would suggest, e.g., friendliness, innocence, etc. Hard to explain, but you know it when you see it, although been wrong on that, so who the knows. Story 54. Check this out for an example, and my woman here explanation. Story 55. Don't worry, you'll find out several years later that she was really into you. I'll be too late by then, but at least you'll know the one you're thinking about right now though, she doesn't like you that way. Story 56. There a little song I like to sing when I meet someone new. 12 pounds of boobies in a loose brassiere, a dirty rubber floating in my beer, twitching like a moose's ear. Simple things remind me of you. Slap it onto the table and see what happens. Story 57. The problem is people keep expecting things instead of naturally letting a friendship blossom into something more. Nobody wants to have that conversation though. Story 58. I'm oblivious as I bartended in a nightclub for a long time, so being flirty is something you naturally do with people. I couldn't tell if someone was flirting with me or just playing off my bullshit banter. A few times a friend of a chick flirting we would have to flag me down and give me their number. I remember one of them being like, you're either really nice or is not see that she's into you. My response was just, it's both. Story 59. Women are so different from each other it really is impossible to tell for sure. Some are very affectionate and kind of smile and touch people just out of being friendly. Some only do that if they're flirting, so there's no formula or anything. Story 60. Does that really matter? If you are interested too, you just start being similarly nice to her and start all the teasing and flirting game slowly. Then she either keeps on playing the game or not, that you want miss. She will step back instantly if she's not interested and was just being friendly. Simple, people overcomplicate everything. Story 61. If she is tilting her head, shyly or teasingly, she might be flirting. If you want to find out, tell her about your minerals collection, and if she still seems super interested, she is definitely flirting.